very good evening to all the distinguished faculties and dignitaries, chief guest of honor and decorated panel of experts, and all the delegates who have joined today. Myself, Dr. Raj, Chairman, Medical Legal Cell, Delhi Gynae Forum, welcomes you all today on a very unique and focused third webinar series of KANOON Ki Pathshala, which has been initiated by none other than Ma'am Dr. Sharda Jain, who is instrumental and guiding force behind it. She is the founder of the Medical Cell Delhi Gynae Forum, and her mission is only to educate and prepare all the medical fraternity on medical legal subject to have a litigation-free practice. This webinar series will be conducted every third Thursday of each month between 7:30 to 9 p.m. It goes without saying that the ignorance of law is not any excuse. And today the session is on a very important and pertinent topic, the burning issue of current scenario, arrest of the doctor, which will be dealt by Dr. Sharda Jain. But after the multiple incidents happening this year, especially after Dr. Archana Sharma and recently by Dr. Suchi from Noida, I want to ask everyone who is joining today, does they know what to do when such incidents happens to them? What are the laws and safety acts related to the medical practice? Can doctor do also the FIR? How to approach police and what are the landmark judgment which they should know? So not taking much time, I hand over to Dr. Leena, who is the co-chairman of the DGF Medical Legal Cell for further proceeding. Over to you, Dr. Leena, please.
Thank you, Dr. Raj. Very good afternoon again. So we as doctors, we are all hailing from really prestigious institutions. We have worked hard to be where we are. We have done our MBBS, we have done our MD, MS, fellowships, etc. And but nothing has prepared us, neither in our formative years in undergraduate or postgraduate, for handling a situation where upon having an adverse outcome or a complication, an FIR has been lodged against you and a constable arrives at your doorstep waiting to arrest you. So what does section 304 apply? When does it apply and what does it mean for us? When that incident at Dausa happened and it was dissected, discussed, and we formed so many groups, we thought that it was clearly understood when section 304 applies to doctors. So we thought that was the end of it. But no, alas, that has not happened. And we are really, again, we are faced with another situation where the same section was going to be applied for a very young doctor. So without any more, I would like to first invite Dr. Archana Verma, who is going to talk to us and who is going to explain to us exactly what happened in Noida. Dr. Archana Verma is the Vice President-elect FOXY 21, and she's an associate member of the RCOG and the founder president of the West UP chapter and advisor of the UP COG. Dr. Archana Verma is going to tell us about the incident in Noida. Dr. Archana, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Leena, and all the namaskar to all the respected seniors. It is a very good day today, Hindi Divas today, and when all the Indian courts talk in English, we are talking in Hindi. और ये जो कानून की पाठशाला है, I think ये हमारे को काफी अच्छे से समझ में आ जाएगी और आनी ही चाहिए. और हमको जो ये आज हम जो यहाँ पे एकत्रित हुए हैं एक पर्टिकुलर वाक्यात को लेके, और ताकि हमारी ये जो अलर्टनेस और रेडीनेस एंड हाउ टू रिकॉग्नाइज दोज अलर्ट एंड वार्निंग साइंस, what is going to happen if some incident is there, how you react, and then what happened actually. Because ethical and quality work, we all gynecologists are dedicated workers. We know we do work, but somehow somewhere we lack in documentation and communication, and somehow fail to even call for our organizations also. And when everything happens, then later on we come to know, because even in this case we come to know via media only. And then because there was some center creation, IVF center, and that young doctor, brilliant doctor, was working there as an assistant. And she accordingly, and she was a much qualified gynecologist, and she was doing wonderful work as per all the patients, and they had faith in her, and she did hundreds of cases over there. But the where she was working, she was not aware that this hospital is well recognized or not, because she must be in some friendly way, or some hospital, because she established her practice there only, with a blind faith on this. And that on very unfaithful day, because she was one of the patients, she was almost normal. There was no history and no allergy as per se. And that center was also recognized for IVF this thing, with the district authorities, medical with the CMO, and PCPNDT was also taken. And that gynecologist as a full-time consultant over there. And first time she saw a patient on 18th of June, and she decided to give some ovulation induction medicines to for a better ovum retrieval. And then on that particular day, she was found to be fit, and anesthetist declared by doing PAC that she is fit to go for procedure, which is a very a minor procedure, hardly 10 to 15 minutes, and a short G is given. And that anesthetist was there. And when they gave at that on 17th of she stimulated on 17th of August, and then called the patient on 19th August for that procedure. And then the moment that anesthetist, with the consent, even the all type of consents were there as per doctor, and pre-anesthetic medications were also given. Means all the proper workup was done. At when the anesthesia was given, there was a sudden fall in SpO2 from 100 to 70, and they were alerted, and they suspected a severe allergic anaphylactic reaction, pulmonary edema, or then this upper airway was blocked, and they intubated her, and they did all the resuscitation methods. And because anesthetist was there, and according to them, everything was there, and CPR was also there, and they even called one extra anesthetist also. And accordingly, I mean, till now there was no negligence on their part, and because of but complication did happen. And then they explained the patient and shifted the patient to some nearby big hospital. It was not an government hospital, it was another corporate hospital. And then the patient was shifted, and then they say at that time already she was pulse and blood pressure was recordable, but somehow there was patient was not in coma most probably, and expired after 4 or 5 days. And then the very first day, the patient did a FIR against her for under 338 sections because of this complication. And soon after, when the patient expired, this FIR was turned to 304. And this was the concern when every whole media was against her, and even we were concerned. And we when all the IMA associations and this Noida president, secretary, and everybody, they went, police commissioner and DCP, and the rest of the history, I think Dr. Rakhi and Dr. Avana is there, and Dr. Aradhana Singh, they will tell. And then it was decided that doctor will not be.
Ma'am, please unmute. Archana ma'am, please unmute.
Yes. And then those when the all the this IMA authorities and local Noida Society, Obs and Gynae Society, and myself also went there to meet the this police officer. They were very polite, and they really listened to us also. They gave us time, and they showed their cooperation, and that was the only thing which we were happy that we could do this. And later on, now till now, nothing extra has been posed to them. There's no harassment. Today only I talked to her husband that no untoward event has happened till now. Dr. Leena?
Yes.
So that
Yes,
was the main
thank you.
case. And in this,
Yes.
my suggestion is only that we should be always be aware that whenever this should be a drill, because the skills are different, and this our mind working is different. You get tense, always tense. So the death on a table or any later on any complication, then what we are supposed to do and how we can save ourselves. That is, हम safe रहेंगे तभी हम दुनिया को safe रख पाएंगे.
Very well said, Dr. Archana. And thank you for this. Like they say, this is the introductory to this case, which will set all our minds rolling when we speak with the experts. But before that, we have to have the main talk of today. And I invite our speaker, the very distinguished and teacher of teachers, Dr. Sharda Jain, ma'am. And amongst her numerous lists of prestigious appointments and the positions that she has occupied, what is very significant. Yes, ma'am, everybody knows you, ma'am. But I just want to mention that ma'am is the ethical committee member of the National Medical Council, and really the right person to give us this talk today, which is on arrest of doctors. So over to you, ma'am.
Sir, yes. Just 1 minute. Where is my thing gone? Share. And this is
Yes.
here.
Yes, ma'am.
I think greetings to everybody who's listening me. A special thank you for all the viewers that they have thought this is a very important topic. And today the focus is on arrest of doctors and what all a doctor should know. This is brought about by KANOON. Pathshala has been brought about by the Medico Legal Cell of Delhi Gynecologist Forum, Medico Legal Foundation, and now the new member has also joined what is called North India Gynecologist Forum. Now, we are a group of dedicated doctors who have taken upon them the task to help doctors to practice peacefully without stress, and at the same time empower them from time to time कि किस तरह से हमने इन challenges को झेलना है. This is a group where gynecologists who have got medical legal expertise, and it has got few doctors turned lawyers, and virtually doctors from all specialities. Now, at the outset, I wish to just tell my plea is that stop bothering doctors under 304 or 304A in the event of death which happens in the hospital. The contents of my presentation will be arrest of doctors and the IPC codes. You will know more about 304 and 304A, how to handle police investigations, landmark judgment of Supreme Court in relation to the arrest of doctors, and which are like Sanjeevani to all of us, and we should keep ready with us. Prevention of violence against doctors and some safety tips I'm going to talk about. Now, our medical colleagues do not have that kind of a problem because people come to them with chronic ailments. But in the surgery, if something happens, in IVF theater, if something happens, the blame goes entirely to the surgeons. And here I just wish to tell everybody who's listening that the 50% litigation across the lengths and breadths of India are towards gynecologists. Anesthetists are caught in 1% of cases where they give anesthesia, but 20% deaths where the death on table occurs. Now, whenever this untoward incident happens like death, these doctors are absolutely helpless doctors, whether it is male doctor or a female doctor, because we do not have training in the four walls of the medical college. I just wish to inform the public that we people are human beings. We are not God. Gone are the days when people used to consider us next to God. Now, we have been turned shopkeepers, selling petty things. And our patients are our customers. They don't take any time to call us looters instead of ear-pleasing words like saviors of the humanity or healers. Now, this is the time to wake up. Wake up for all medical fraternity. If we want to have stress-free practice, we have no other way, but we must know the law applicable to all doctors. As Dr. Raj said, ignorance of law is no excuse. We've got to know. Now, this sentence I like. Better safe than feel sorry. If you really want to practice peacefully and with confidence. First thing after specialization, not for a minute you should be without the indemnity insurance cover. People who are working in the government organization should have 50 lakhs insurance. The people practicing in the private sector, minimum 1 crore. We'll talk sometime later that it should be also split like 20-20. We'll have a discussion one day on the indemnity insurance. Now, what I wish to inform everybody, including I'm also part of it, that 99% of doctors do not keep OPD records. And when the litigation arises, it is only these OPD records which you need to have. And this is a very big deficiency, and all of us should put our minds together that we should start keeping OPD records. I'm caught up in a case. Dr. Gitendra was here with me, and he says, Madam, electronic records ka koi kaam nahi hai. Aapke paas hard copy honi chahiye. So this is what the situation as the legal situation is concerned. Now, we also, when we start practice, we must have membership of Indian Medical Association. We should have a membership of the local bodies. Because jab aapko zarurat hogi, to yehi local branch of IMA and the local branch of gynecologists or surgeons, any those people are going to help you. Jab aapke haath se nikal jaye, tab aapko ye central leadership ko jagana hoga. Without membership, you are helpless on the road. You got to have a membership. आपकी भीड़ पेशेंट की भीड़ से दुगनी होनी चाहिए, तभी इसका मजा है, और otherwise you are alone. We always say that a good documentation, a good defense for doctors. If there's no documentation, there is no defense for doctors. And that's why procedure specific consents, your documentation very meticulously done, and record keeping, both of outdoor and indoor is important. We also must be trained how to call a police. Emergency होने से पहले, emergency आप smell भी करोगे, तो आपको खुद ही बुलाना चाहिए. Police is like Krishna Kanhaiya, जिसकी टोली में होंगे उसका साथ देंगे. अगर आपने बुलाया है, तो वो आपका साथ देंगे. और patient ने बुलाया तो वो patient का साथ देंगे. And how to handle police investigations against doctors, we must all know. Here I just wish to tell you there are two kinds of offenses. One is cognizable. That means police officer can arrest you. And these are the ones which are bailable. 304A comes under this category. While 304 is a non-cognizable offense where the police cannot arrest you directly. It has to have a permission from the court. FIR लॉन्च करने में भी कई बार प्रॉब्लम आती है. Now there has been a Supreme Court guidelines in a case like Lalita Kumari versus State of UP, where the police is mandated to register FIR. FIR is first information report. And here I just wish to request you again कि जब आप इमरजेंसी को स्मेल करो 100 को डायल करना है, खुद डायल करना है, और जिसने आपको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है 100 पे डायल किया है तो 100% रिस्पॉन्स होगा, ये तो आप माने जाए. आपको जिससे आपकी बात हुई उसका नाम पता होना चाहिए और उसका पुलिस का बिल्ला नंबर आपको लिखना पड़ेगा फाइल में. तो ये दो चीजें आपके पास होंगी तो योर जॉब इज डन. नाउ जब भी डेथ ऑफ पेशेंट हो जाती है, डॉक्टर की नेग्लिजेंस का शोर मचना शुरू हो जाता है. ऑल अराउंड you could see in this particular case also, she had some other category, but once the patient had died, this 304A was against the doctor. And here you find majority of the time the police in an extra hurry to arrest the doctors under 304. Now, when these arrest situations arises, जब भी there is death in OT or in labor room or in IVF center or death on the table, or there is an immediate post-operative death, or a death occurring in an unnatural surroundings. In that particular case, the chances of arrest increases markedly. It's a panicky state for the doctors. My appeal from this particular group is, do not panic. Do not take extreme steps. You saw in Dr. Archana's case, she simply panicked and right in her own hospital, in her room, पंखे से लटक कर suicide कर लिया. These extreme steps are really not needed. At the same time, my appeal to all lawmakers, police, and the citizens of this country, do not doubt the intentions of the doctors. In their dream also, doctors cannot think of harming the patient. So, Dr. Archana Sharma was booked under 302. This is a punishment for murder. It is not permissible for doctors. But today I came to know another anesthetist has been booked under 302 again. Here I wish to inform the public, the doctors, anybody who's listening me, even the police people. Doctors have no intention to murder the patient. So this particular 302 is not permissible for doctors. Now, what about 304? This is the punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. There are two things. Intention. There is never an intention of a doctor to murder or kill the patient. So on that particular thing, be assured that the intentions of the doctors can never be questioned. As for the cause of the death is, it has to be ascertained by the experts. And you can find this is a non-bailable. The bail can be only obtained through the courts. Here there's a 10 years jail or fine or both. While under 304, which is in majority, this is the clause being put against the doctors. Causing death by negligence. It is only alleged charge that there can be rashness or negligent act, which I just now told you that it can be death on the table, immediate post-operative room, or sometime unnatural death. This is non-amounting to culpable homicide. This is a bailable, and this bail can be given at the level of the police itself. This is exactly like this. मैं कार से जा रही हूँ, suddenly कोई बंदा मेरी कार के सामने आ गया, and he's hit and he dies. I had no intention of killing him. So it is alleged charge, which is just suspected, it is not proved. And here I just wish to tell you, Jacob Matthews' case is just like a Sanjeevani. It says, nobody can put you behind bars. So medical fraternity, do not panic. Arrest is very, very rare. It is a paper arrest. Dr. Archana had a misconception that ye sab log ikhatte ho gaye, they will put me behind jails. So fear was unfounded. 304A is bailable. It can be granted by a police officer himself. The charges are 950 bail money. You can call any friend or colleague of yours, and the whole formality can be done in 20 to 30 minutes time. I repeat again. It can be done by the police officer himself. Charges are 950 is the bail money, and a friend and colleague you can call, which can finish the job in 20 to 30 minutes, all it takes to get the bail. Under this offense, which is the bailable offense, the jail can be there maximum for 2 years or fine or both. Now question comes, should we take anticipatory bails? It is not needed because this is bailable offense. Whenever it is needed, it will be granted by the police officer himself. Now, but what happens, what we see day in and day out, all around us? The police people knowingly behave as if they don't know the law. They do absolutely unprofessional work, as it happened in Rajasthan, and it is happening day in, day out. Now, they want to book you because you do not know what is the difference between 304 or 304A. They want to book you for 304, for which arrest will be there and there will be no bail. While in 304A, there is a bail. Now, if this particular person or the crowd or the media people are pressurizing this gentleman, this police officer, to arrest the doctor, you should call the senior police officers, explain them about the Supreme Court guidelines, and they are more knowledgeable, they will come to your help. And this is the time that you gather all local IMA bodies and gynecologist body in case if you happen to be a gynecologist. And for that matter, everybody all around doctors should get together. They should come for a help. I always say, aapki bheed unki bheed se zyada honi chahiye. Now, what are the landmark judgments by the Honorable Supreme Court, which say that arresting doctors is not an easy job? Now, this landmark judgment, which I call as a Sanjeevani Booty for doctors, the bench was of 3 judges. It noted that the doctors are often harassed by abusing and misusing of provisions of IPC 1860 and the Code of Criminal Procedures 1973 by the police people. The guidelines from the Supreme Court are very loud and clear. The police can't arrest the doctor directly without following the guidelines laid by Honorable Supreme Court. Again, through 2008, there was another landmark decisions of Mahadev Prasad Kaushik versus UP State. The bar police, it debars police from arresting doctors under 304 IPC if the death occurs in the patient's care. Now, what is to be done? The guidelines are the preliminary report has to be obtained by the government medical authority for confirming the prima facie case of negligence. Now, who should do this? It can be done by the medical college professor in that particular area. It can be done by the civil surgeon himself or the police surgeon. Usually the complaint is lodged by the police to the civil surgeon is one person who is contacted first. So here I just wish to again say that the doctors cannot be arrested simply on the charge by the relatives unless the complainant has produced prima facie evidence that is credible opinion given by another competent doctor to support the charge of rashness or negligent act on the part of the accused doctor. Now here I just wish that all these civil surgeons must appoint a senior doctors with academic background. Kai baar, the doctors who initially take care, are unjust, biased and influenced. Again, हमें ये चीज देखनी है और अपने लोकल जो हमारे आपके सिविल सर्जन वगैरह उनको जानना पड़ना होना चाहिए और उनसे पूछना चाहिए इन केस इफ अनटूवर्ड इंसिडेंट हैपेंस, सर आप किनको ये रिस्पांसिबिलिटी देते हो? Now we know of cases where under 304 the judges charge lakhs of rupees under the table to grant the bail. We know of the police officer extracting money for the rightful making. 304 A जो करना चाहिए वो 304 में they pressurize doctor and 304 is there a lawful right. Now how to cooperate in police investigations? आप पुलिस को बुलाओगे तो पुलिस is obliged to investigate. Doctor is bound by law to cooperate. Non-cooperation with police investigation is likely to go against the doctor. Now, what does police want? Police wants all the case paper record of that particular patient, investigation report, X-ray report, ultrasound report, everything report. The police has a legal power under Criminal Procedure Code to search and seize material of evidence if the doctor fails to cooperate. What does the police people want? They want the copies of the doctor's degree. They want medical council registration of working in that particular area. और उसके हॉस्पिटल के जो वेरियस रजिस्ट्रेशंस आपने जैसे इस पर्टिकुलर केस के अंदर आईवीएफ के रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह है, नाउ दे रिक्वायर ऑल दोस काइंड ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन of the hospital. Now, as for the case records which you have to give, you have to check and recheck the case record. Serial numbering of each page has to be done. Every page has to be stamped and signed by the competent person, responsible person. And then once you hand over to the case file to the police people, acknowledgement from the police has to be taken in writing. If there are incomplete papers and he's pressurized, police is pressurizing to hand over the file, you write down that, papers are incomplete, but the police is pressurizing those, so the file could not be completed. If you want to make any correction of record, in my last documentation presentation, I had very clearly said that all correction of documents, records can be definitely made, but they should be duly signed. And कोई overwriting, खिचपिच, ये सब चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए. That amounts to forgery and goes against you. Now, when is the doctor negligent? Here the Supreme Court has very clearly said it has to be non-negligence. आजकल सब में ये प्रचलन हो गया, कुछ भी unfavorable चीज हो जाए, कुछ भी उनके हिसाब से नहीं हुआ, उसको negligence कहते हैं. But it has to be gross negligence. High level of negligence has to be there. जो कि कोई भी sane doctor, prudent doctor will ever do, and no prudent doctor who will not do that particular thing. इतनी gross mistake होनी चाहिए. So, appeal to all the police officers that please know Jacob Matthews' case, do not do mischief, deliberate misinterpretation, and gross misuse of criminal law against doctors. Provide protection to doctors from criminal prosecution in case of medical negligence by you yourself telling them this is not the right way to do it. Here again, I wish to tell all the medical fraternity that this Jacob Matthews case was in 2005. In their verdict on page number 53, it has very clearly noted that statutory rules or executive instructions issued by the Supreme Court to be framed and issued by the Government of India or the state government in consultation with the Medical Council of India. So long as it is not done, MCI, which is not NMC, to lay down certain guidelines for the future, which should govern the prosecution of doctors for offences of which criminal rashness and criminal negligence is ingredient. 2005 में वर्डिक्ट आया, फिर 2-3 और फेवरेबल वर्डिक्ट 2008, 2009 में आए. वो अभी तक ना तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने निकाली है कोई गाइडलाइंस, ना स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने निकाली है, और ना ही एनएमसी ने निकाली है. वी आर नाउ टॉकिंग इन 2022. 2005 से 2022 में इतना टाइम निकल गया है. So what will I say? Let us seek protection against these landmark decisions which I call Sanjeevani. That is implementation of the Supreme Court directives given in Jacob Matthews' case in letter and spirit to be followed by both police and the judiciary. Again, appeal to all doctors. Unity ho, the lawyers jaisi unity. Because we need to have a robust protection for healthcare providers, and that is Central Professional Act for Doctors Safety pe aana chahiye. This was already drafted by NDA government, Dr. Harshvardhan time when he was the health minister. It was sent, it was only meant to be passed in parliament. About 24 doctors had come and he had made a declaration, this is what the presentation is. Now it is going to the Home Ministry, and unfortunately, Dr. Harshvardhan is no more health minister. It is stuck in the Home Ministry level. Another big deficiency in our medical profession today is we don't have central safety protection law, and we must work very, very hard to have that. एक एयरलाइंस की एयर होस्टेस को कोई हाथ नहीं लगा सकता, कोई गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल को हाथ नहीं लगा सकता, कोई पुलिस पर्सनल को हाथ नहीं लगा सकता, तो एक डॉक्टर को क्यों हाथ लगाते हैं, क्यों उसको मैन हैंडल करते हैं, क्यों देयर आर वायलेंस अगेंस्ट देम? We have to have a great unity, and we have to find effective self-help groups of doctors for defense, which is hardly there. You can count the numbers where the effective self-help groups are available. Knowledge is power. And I'm sorry to say that medical knowledge or knowledge of medical legal issues, the law, the doctors are very, very poor in this. In the courts, it was right in the spirit कि एक बार आपके कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में आएगा, 6 महीने में डिसीजन हो जाएगा. Now there is a delay, delay and delay. Why there is a delay? डेट पर डेट पड़ती रह जाती है, हर डेट पे वो 10,000 रुपए लेते. उनको किस बात की जल्दी है कि आप का केस जल्दी करें? एक दिन में वो 4 डिले कर दे तो 40,000 रुपए बना लिए पुलिस वाले ने, लॉयर्स ने. It is not in their interest कि वो केस को फाइनल करें. तो I think we medical fraternity have to draft things. जब भी हम लॉयर्स के पास जाएं, हम उनको बताएंगे कि जो इफेक्टिव डेट है उसके ही पैसे लेने चाहिए आपको, या फिर आप हमें लमसम बता जाओ आपको केस को जीतने के लिए हमें कितने पैसे लगेंगे. So this is what it is. There is an enormous delay of disposal of cases in the civil courts. And coming to the last thing, that is बड़ा सबसे बड़ा मजाक है. No fee is needed to file a case against the doctors. Now simply on an email you can send and the case can be registered against you. One doctor can be booked in 15 courts at the same time. हमारी लाइफ नरक से भी बदतर बना देते. There is no cap on a financial penalty. लिए आपने 1,000 और आप करोड़ों में आ जाते हैं. And you all know about the Kunal Saha case, that 12 crores rupees had been there was to be given. There is no cap of interest. किसी में इंटरेस्ट नहीं लेंगे, किसी में 9% इंटरेस्ट लगाएंगे, किसी में 18% इंटरेस्ट लगाएंगे. डॉक्टर की फीस का संज्ञान लेना बहुत जरूरी है by these judges when they give the financial penalty. And that is why, look at the doctor community, 70% of the children don't become doctor, and whosoever become doctor are leaving the country. So my appeal to all doctors is, please become IMA member. Please become Foxy member. Automatically you become the member of the district level courts, district societies, because the joint action of doctors is required. You have many politicians who are in favor of you. Gather them also. Gather their well-wishing patients also with you. So you make a huge net who come for your safety. And I will say, never ignore the local IMA office bearers. Never ever ignore the local, for a gynecologist I'm pleading, never ever ignore the local bodies which are going to help you, because this is, जो आपके आसपास है वही आपकी मदद कर सकेगा. and doctors' awareness unity is required. Self-help groups have to be formed. It is the need of the hour. Earlier you do it, the better it is. Bouncers, there are a couple of places in Bihar, they have appointed bouncers like this. But again, question comes, who is going to pay the money? Safety of yours is much more important. And these people definitely have a deterrent effect on the public when they come together in large numbers. Awareness is required of the doctor community. Awareness is required of the local police of the laws in relation to doctors. And awareness is required of the politicians about various medical legal issues. Otherwise, doctors will continue to be soft targets. And we should keep these landmark judgments right in our phones or somewhere in the clinic. You should have these 4 or 5 landmark judgments. That is Jacob Matthews case, which very clearly says the police is barred from arresting doctors without inquiry under 304A IPC. Same way as Mahadev Prasad Kaushik judgment also says police is barred from arresting doctors under 304 IPC. Martin D'Souza case says that the courts and the consumer poor are not experts in medical science. For that, they have to take medical people report only. Again, there is a landmark judgment of SC Gupta versus Government of Delhi and NCT. Again, it shows that the court and judges are not experts in medical sciences. And I think all of us should know 19 states, the Medicare service, personal and the Medicare service institutions, prevention of violence and the damages of the property against in Act 2008 is there. It says that अगर आप कोई तोड़फोड़ करते हो, ये गैर जमानती पुलिस केस होगा, जहां पर आपको जमानत नहीं मिलेगी, गिरफ्तारी होगी 3 साल के लिए और आपको नुकसान की भरपाई डबल अमाउंट में करनी पड़ेगी. इसको आपने अपनी क्लिनिक में, अपने प्रेमिसेस में हर फ्लोर पे लगा कर रखना है. So at least in a prominent places, so say see, people like us have displayed it in the reception itself. And unity of doctors must to stop the violence against the doctors, and unity of the doctors must to stop the arrest of doctors. With these words, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such a mesmerizing talk. And I think we are all digesting all the various points that you have mentioned. While we are doing that, I would request our first expert to give her comments, Dr. Rakhi Dhawan Singh. Dr. Rakhi, for a very brief introduction, would be that she is the chairperson of the Endocrinology Committee of FOPSI and the vice chairperson of the UP State ISAR. Dr. Rakhi, can we have your comments, please?
Thank you, Lina. That was indeed the need of the hour, what ma'am has talked, and it was every word needs to be remembered by every gynecologist. There is no chance that we can miss out on even a single word and not follow that. But only thing is we need to be aware of our work. We need to be doing all the ethical work and the ethical practice, which is important. Everything what we do, the documentation is a key to it. We need to have a lot of documentation, though it takes a lot of time of us, and we feel that we are clinically more competent. हमें patient का काम पहले करना, but we are also clerks at one end, and we need to complete our homework by doing all the documentation part. अगर हमने अपना documentation नहीं किया, तो whatever said and done, we've done good to the patient. We have not done anything. जब तक documentation नहीं है, तो हमने कुछ नहीं किया. Proof is the key to it. And the second thing is ethical practice is the key to it. And yes, definitely police cannot come forward with this. But in this case, it was unfortunate that it was the police case, which was FIR initially, which was done against the patient's husband had put in the FIR, and he had put into the primary consultant, and it was not a 304 FIR initially. But when it got escalated on the same, because the FIR initially was against Dr. Suchi and the hospital authorities. It had mentioned that way. So escalation had taken up that way, the forefront, but it was assured from the police end when we had gone to talk over, it was very clearly told that we have verified very clearly Dr. Suchi's case in depth. She is not at fault, but initially primary, when FIR has been done, when we have to escalate it, we have to escalate it on the primary person only, and which would be squashed out in the court itself. There is no go that it can be squashed out anywhere in between steps. And never run away from the situation. Try to face the situation with a calm mind, and always, like any groups, we are all doctors, we are having 110 groups of Foxy or any game group or any friendship groups. We have groups, right? Just give a call on that group. There is a group call button on that each group for the WhatsApp group. Be a member of YMA, be a member of your local organization. Just give a group call and tell that I am having a problem. You will definitely find people standing next to you. It is just a call away, and never run away from the situation. This is what I would like to tell.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rakhi.
But one thing I want to add, always run away from the situation whenever there is a very difficult situation. Because
definitely,
yourself is something. I know what you were trying to say, but I just want to say that is one, because court बाद में आता है, police बाद में आती है, friends बाद में आते हैं. जितनी जल्दी मैक्सिमम आप अपने पेपर्स और अपने लेके, बिकॉज nobody can compel you to show the papers in the first hour or 2 hours.
इसी बात पे मैं बोलना चाहूंगी कि whenever you make a clinic of yours, there should be 2 entrances. That is the one and the most primary thing what we need to understand. One is for the patients, the other entrance is hidden, which is for your own private safety. If we can do it, that is the best way out. Which nowadays most of the newer OPDs, what they are developing, they are doing it, that they have another entrance for them, and do have CCTV cameras with audio recording in your OPD. That would help us out in the documentation at that point of time. And whenever we are calling, as ma'am has said, 100 pe call karo. The person who calls first is having the first and the prime most. 100 agar nahi milta, call 112. 112 is for all the emergencies. And do not ask somebody else to call for 100. Call it from your own number, because the person who calls, that number gets registered. If you are asking your subordinate to call or any of your receptionists to call, then that becomes a primary person and you are not addressing the whole issue. It is you who has to call.
But somehow always take care that mobile always gives your GPS system. And so beware of giving your own number right at the first step.
We'll ask Gaurav Agarwal to give an expert comment as a medical legal expert. Dr. Gaurav.
Thank you, ma'am. So there are a couple of things. Firstly, very rightly pointed out that, now if you dial 100 from your phone, it doesn't go to the police. It gets diverted to 112. And, in such a process, I have done it practically a couple of months back. You waste precious 2-3 minutes. So straight away, forget 100. It is only 112 throughout the country. Okay, that is one. Secondly, since this Jacob Matthews judgment is like in a gold standard, we need to, through the offices of Foxy, all of you guys, we need to take this message to the entire country that this right that the Supreme Court has granted to doctors is not available even to members of legislative assemblies, MLAs, MLCs, not even to members of parliament. Mind my words. This is a golden judgment. This cannot be, इसकी gravity को समझना हमारे लिए बहुत 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 जरूरी है. और इसमें 3 important right दी गई हैं doctors को, my dear friends. ठीक है, एक right already been talked about. बट एक अरेस्ट की है और एक है पुलिस कंप्लेंट की. ठीक है, एज फार एज पुलिस कंप्लेंट इज कंसर्न, पुलिस कैन नॉट अरेस्ट द डॉक्टर. दैट इज वन. एंड द कंप्लेंट बिफोर इट इज रजिस्टर्ड बाय द पेशेंट, it has to be first of all verified through a panel of doctors of government hospital. So ये तो बहुत बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट राइट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पेशली डॉक्टर्स को दी है, और ये बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में नहीं है इतनी बड़ी राइट. You can imagine people who are lawmakers, उनको भी ये राइट नहीं है. अगर उनके लिए अरेस्ट का आता है तो they have to be arrested. But we are we cannot be arrested. But बात प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हर पुलिस वाले को, अब नोएडा कितना, NCR, stone's throw from Delhi, being the center hub of everything, they do not know it. So it is our duty as an association, as IMA, we have to take it to each and every police station in the country and tell them that we are protected by this. Okay, if you want to register a case, first of all follow Supreme Court, otherwise you are कोर्ट के आदेश की अवमानना कर रहे हैं आप. Okay, so you are going against the court for which you shall only be answerable. Next thing is, as far as this was around for 304 IPC. Now, अब जो इस particular case में हो 304 IPC. अब 304 IPC के बारे में भी बता दें, because not many people know about it. There is another landmark judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court called Mahadev Prasad Kaushik versus State of UP 2008. Yes, ma'am. So उसकी भी हमको वैल्यू समझनी है कि जैसे 304 IPC की है, इस तरह से 304 IPC की भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा हुआ है कि डॉक्टर्स को अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं उसके अंडर. बट देन इफ वी डू नॉट नो, द पुलिस वुड नॉट नो. हमने तो उनको बताना है कि अगर आप ये कर रहे हैं, सो यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट द कोर्ट. ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट थिंग इज कि जब भी इस तरह से कुछ होता भी है, इट इज गिवन इन द लॉ इटसेल्फ. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि चोरी हो गई, पुलिस काम नहीं कर रही है तो उसके सीनियर्स के पास जाएं. नो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इट इज गिवन इन द CRPC इटसेल्फ. प्रोसेस दिया हुआ है ना, बिकॉज क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड इज अबाउट द प्रोसीजर of criminal offenses. IPC gives the punishments. Okay, it defines punishments. But CRPC is about the procedure, how to approach. So usme clearly mentioned hai under relevant sections that if police fails to, this is like opposite. If agar, relatives के को arrest नहीं कर रही है, तो you have to, या अपने केस में भी अगर हमने कंप्लेंट करी वापस, उनके लिए वो वायलेंस कर रहे हैं, कुछ भी न्यूसेंस कर रहे हैं, फॉल्स थ्रेटन कर रहे हैं, तो जान की धमकी इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट थिंग जिसकी कंप्लेंट लेकर हम पुलिस के पास जा सकते हैं और पुलिस एक्शन नहीं ले सकती है. तो लॉ ये कहती है कि वी शुड अप्रोच द DCP ऑफ द एरिया. तो DCP भी एक्शन नहीं लेता है, तो लॉ डज नॉट से देन यू गो टू कमिश्नर पुलिस. नो, इट सेज यू गो टू मजिस्ट्रेट्स कोर्ट, जो भी आपका ज्यूरिसडिक्शनल मजिस्ट्रेट है. जैसे थाने का एरिया होता है, उसी तरह से कोर्ट का होता है. तो ज्यूरिसडिक्शनल मजिस्ट्रेट के पास डायरेक्टली हम जा सकते हैं. डायरेक्टली मतलब ऑब्वियसली विद ए लॉयर, और उनको कह सकते हैं कि सर अंडर 156(3) CRPC 156(3) इसको कहते हैं, एंड ईच ऑफ वन शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट दिस. और सीधा एप्लीकेशन देंगे हमारे वकील साहब हमारे साथ जाके कि 156(3) या CRPC में एक तो FIR रजिस्टर किया जाए, और दूसरा अगर पुलिस ऑफिसर के अगेंस्ट भी हमें करना है तो उनके लिए 154(3) IPC है, उसके अगेंस्ट पुलिस ऑफिसर्स कैन ऑल्सो बी answerable to the court. So there are enough laws. We need to first of all, okay, this is a very good, we have educated ourselves, full stop. Now we need to educate police officers कि these are our rights, these are duties हम कर रहे हैं, उसमें कोई कमी है तो बताइए. But see, this was a case of purely therapeutic misadventure, जो अभी नोएडा केस की बात की. थेरेपेटिक मिसएडवेंचर में बहुत सारे ऐसे हमने केसेस देखे हैं जो DMC और एनी मेडिकल काउंसिल इन द कंट्री, दे हैव बीन ऑनरेबली एक्सोनरेटेड बाय द रेस्पेक्टिव मेडिकल काउंसिल कि दिस इज एन एक्सीडेंट, दिस इज ए मिसएडवेंचर, दिस इज ए ट्रीटमेंट एक्सीडेंट. सो इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कर सकते, ये तो हो जाता है. टेस्ट डोज लगाते हैं, नेगेटिव आती है, फुल डोज होते हैं, फिर भी एनाफिलेक्सिस हो जाती है, पेशेंट डाइज, बट दिस इज द बेस्ट दैट वी कैन डू. ठीक है, तो डिस्पाइट दैट अगर होता है तो मिस एडवेंचर के केसेस में तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं बनता है कि डॉक्टर को अरेस्ट किया जाए या उसके अगेंस्ट केस बने. सो इट इज आवर ड्यूटी टू एजुकेट देम दैट दीज आर आवर राइट्स एंड यू कैन नॉट अरेस्ट अस. ओके, सो दिस इज माय स्मॉल दिस थिंग दैट आई वांटेड टू से.
डॉक्टर साहब, ये मैडम ने बोला कि भाग जाओ, उसके लिए क्या बोलोगे आप? डॉक्टर अर्चना ने बताया.
नहीं, probably what she meant was what I understood was कि सबसे पहली जो चीज है वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं है, पेशेंट्स नहीं है, हॉस्पिटल नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है, जान है अपनी. So what she probably meant was कि अपनी जान बचाने के लिए भागो. Okay, so ठीक है, of course अपनी जान रहेगी तभी तो हम अपने आप को डिफेंड कर पाएंगे. So probably that is what she meant. So in that sense, yes, she is right. But yes, सिचुएशन से नहीं भागना है, we have to fight it. because it is just a matter of putting our foot down, that you cannot harass us, you cannot torture us, you cannot demean us. What we are doing is, कोई गलती की हो तो डरे ना, जब कोई गलती नहीं की तो क्यों डरे? कानून हमें भी पता है, तुमसे ज्यादा पता है. देखिए, पुलिस वालों का एक बहुत बड़ा एक डायलॉग होता है जिससे हमको थ्रेटन करते हैं, डराते हैं, जनरल पब्लिक को हो चाहे डॉक्टर्स हो. डॉक्टर साहब, कानून आपको पता है कि हमको पता है? जब हम ओके बोलेंगे ना, हमको पता है, आपको पता है जैकब मैथ्यूज जजमेंट क्या है, आपको पता है महादेव प्रसाद कौशिक जजमेंट क्या है, आपको पता है 304 आईपीसी 304 आईपीसी कब लगाते हैं, आपको पता है 154(3) आईपीसी आपके अगेंस्ट लग जाएगा. ठीक है, अभी मजिस्ट्रेट के कोर्ट में जाते हैं, आपको लाइन हाजिर करवाते हैं. आपसे ज्यादा कानून मुझे आता है, हमने ये लाइन कहनी है. तो ये एक उनका एक डायलॉग होता है जिससे हमको डीमोटिवेट करते हैं. और फिर ऑब्वियसली वेरी राइटली पॉइंटेड आउट, द फर्स्ट कंप्लेनेंट हैज द फर्स्ट राइट. चाहे वो झूठ भी बोल रहा है, चाहे वो झूठ भी बोल रहा है, हम तो ऑब्वियसली अपनी जान बचाने के लिए और अपने मेडिकल एस्टेब्लिशमेंट को सेव करने के लिए और सब कुछ ठीक ठाक चलता रहे एज पर कोर्स ऑफ लॉ, इसलिए हम फर्स्ट मूवर्स एडवांटेज हमें लेनी चाहिए बाय मेकिंग अ कंप्लेंट टू द पुलिस. अगर जरा सा भी लगता है, सी आई थिंक ए ब्रॉड मैसेज हैज टू गो थ्रू दिस फोरम टू एवरीबडी कि पुलिस कंप्लेंट करना डर की बात नहीं है, कोई एक कदम पीछे हटने की बात नहीं है. इट इज नॉट ए वीकनेस, it is a strength that I believe in the system of law, and I will take help of law to save not only me, my medical establishment, to also tell my patients that you cannot harass me anymore. बहुत हो गया. तो first mover advantage के लिए I always encourage, see, courts are very helpful to doctors. मैंने इतने thousands से ऊपर evidence दिए हैं court of law में, ठीक है, और अभी भी जाते रहते हैं. हम डॉक्टर्स कहीं ना कहीं जाते ही रहते हैं कोर्ट में. तो कोर्ट्स हमें बहुत हेल्प करते हैं, ठीक है, भले केस हमारे अगेंस्ट भी हो, बट अगर हम रेस्पेक्टफुली और विद प्रॉपर डिसिप्लिन कोर्ट में पेश आए, अपना पक्ष रखें उनके सामने, कोर्ट्स हेल्प यू अ लॉट. सो अगर ये एडवांटेज अगर हम लेंगे पुलिस को पहले बुलाने की, जरा सा भी हमें लगे कि पेशेंट हैरेस कर रहा है, हमको पहले कॉल कर दो. हमको लगता है कोई केस गड़बड़ हो भी गया है, इवन देन आई वुड एनकरेज कि किसी न किसी रीजन से कि मुझे थ्रेट है, अगर किसी ने ये भी बोल के चला गया कि डॉक्टर साहब ठीक है हम आपको देख लेंगे, अभी तो हम जा रहे हैं, आपको आप 2 दिन हो गए, आप सोच रहे हैं कि यार चलो अब चला गया कुछ नहीं होगा, तीसरे दिन आ जाते हैं वो 50 लोगों के साथ. तो आपकी हमारी गलती है ना, हमने कॉल नहीं किया पुलिस को, 2 दिन क्यों वेट किया? हमको उसके बाहर जाने के तुरंत बाद ही फोन करना चाहिए, लिखित में देना चाहिए, रिसीव कराना चाहिए पुलिस को कि हमको धमकी देके गया है. उसके बाद वो कुछ भी करता रहे, हमें फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज मिलेगी लास्ट तक.
Dr. Vishal Gupta, you want to say something? How did you find challenging to organize people? Dr. Vishal. Dr. Sunil, you can... Yes, sir. Unmute yourself.
Please unmute.
Sir. Yes.
Ma'am, I didn't find any difficulty in this case. Passed the message to our WhatsApp group, and then all are united. Even I motivated all of them. Just we have to unite together. This situation comes with anyone, anybody, anyone, or at any place. So, my word is that we have to unite.
शारदा जी, आपकी परमिशन से एक सवाल डॉक्टर गौरव से करना चाहती हूँ. 2 इंसिडेंट्स की बात बता रही हूँ. जैसे अर्चना ने कहा कि वहां से मतलब चले जाइए, और 2 बार ऐसा हुआ है कि क्योंकि वहां पे लोग थे, एक ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन थे, जन्माष्टमी का था, वो ड्रिंक करके आए और जब तक वो करते वो कोलैप्स कर गए. तो जब लोग आए तो पुलिस कभी कभी कहती है कि दे आर रिस्पेक्टफुल, लेकिन उनका इंटेंशन क्या होता है कि आपकी सुरक्षा के लिए हम आपको ले जा रहे हैं. एंड वेरी वेरी सीनियर ऑर्थोपेडिशियन, और उनको पूरी रात रखा, उसके बाद मीडिया में आ जाता है. तो जब ये वो इस तरह की बात करते हैं कि चलिए हमारे साथ, हम आपको सुरक्षा के लिए ले जा रहे हैं, तो हम लोगों का मतलब क्या इस चीज में रुख होना चाहिए? सो डॉक्टर गौरव और यस,
इसमें 2-3 चीजें हैं. फर्स्टली, ए लेडी कैन नॉट बी टेकन अलोन विदाउट द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ए लेडी पुलिस ऑफिसर, दैट इज 1. सेकेंडली, दैट टू आफ्टर डार्क. ठीक है, साथ में ले जा रहे हैं किसी के, कोई बात नहीं, प्रोटेक्शन के लिए ले जा रहे हैं, और वो प्रोबेबली उनके माइंड में 2 चीज होती हैं. एक तो ये जो कि वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं, आपकी सुरक्षा के लिए ले जा रहे हैं, बट देन ठीक है, सुरक्षा के ले भी जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, ओके, वी आर मोर सेफ विद पुलिस रादर देन इन एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम when 50-100 people are gathered outside medical establishment, there is threat to life. But then maybe उनका ये इंटेंशन है कि आपके अगेंस्ट एक FIR करें 304 IPC में, ठीक है, अगर वो करते भी हैं तो ये हमारी राइट है कि वो हमको बताएं कि क्या कर रहे हैं, और वो करते भी लेटेस्ट से, ठीक है, वो करते भी हैं FIR. तो जैसे एज राइटली पॉइंटेड आउट बाय डॉक्टर शारदा जैन, इट्स अ बेलेबल ऑफेंस. वहीं से आपको जैसे थोड़ी बहुत ठंड हो जाएगी, वो आपको रिलीज कर देंगे, बेल बॉन्ड साइन करना होता है, एंड देन यू कैन गो बैक होम. सो यस, इट इज राइट कि सेफ्टी के लिए ले जा रहे हैं. आई वुड स्टिल रिकमेंड, भागना नहीं चाहिए फ्रॉम सिचुएशन. यू आस्क देम टाइम टू कॉल योर रिलेटिव्स एंड दे हैव टू गिव दैट. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई इतना बड़ा ऑफेंस हो गया कि और ईडी सामने खड़ा है कि किसी को कॉल नहीं करने देंगे. तो यू कॉल कपल ऑफ योर रिलेटिव्स जो सीनियर पर्सन्स हैं या IMA मेंबर्स हैं कि हमको थाने में ले जा रहे हैं. और ऐसा नहीं है कि फोन भी कन्फिस्केट कर लेंगे, आपको ऑनरेबली ले जा रहे हैं थाने में टू डिफ्यूज द सिचुएशन. बिकॉज अगर डॉक्टर को भी कुछ हो जाता है तो पुलिस हैज टू आंसर कि पुलिस की प्रेजेंस में डॉक्टर को डैमेज कैसे हो, डॉक्टर को हार्म कैसे हुआ, चोट किसी को कैसे लग गई, देन द पुलिस इज आंसरेबल. सो यस, आई वुड स्टिल रिकमेंड दैट यू पुट योर फुट डाउन and you go as per police is telling you. भागने से देखो सीधा सा मैसेज जाता है मीडिया में भी, पब्लिक में, कि भागे इसका मतलब गलती है.
जी 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 बिल्कुल.
You going to defend that? उसका कोई डिफेंस नहीं है.
No, sir. My meant was पुलिस के आने से पहले so many times the mob is there. So at that time I was saying the मौका देके उस time documents लेके if you run away then come back, and when the situation is when your relatives and IMA members are there, then you are safe, and then police also is there.
Dr. Vishal, unmute करिए सर, unmute.
सॉरी मैम. एक बात मैं कहना चाहूंगा मैम, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई थिंक हम सब ने मैम बहुत पढ़ाई करी है, बहुत मेहनत करी है, बहुत मेहनत करके हमने नाम कमाया है. शायद थोड़ा बहुत उसके नाते हमारे पास पैसे भी आए, वो भी कमाए हैं हमने. लेकिन मैम मेरा ये मानना है कि हम सबको अपनी कम्युनिटी में एक रिलेशनशिप भी बिल्डअप करना चाहिए विद दीज पुलिस कैंडिडेट्स इतने जो होते हैं एट लोकल प्लेस, ताकि चाहे वो एक पुलिस कांस्टेबल ही क्यों ना हो और एक इंस्पेक्टर, सब इंस्पेक्टर, SHO ही क्यों ना हो, हमें अपने लोकल एरिया में जहाँ पे भी हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं चैरिटेबली हम उनके लिए कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी एक्टिविटी करें ताकि वो हमें पहचाने कि हम इस एरिया में इस जगह पे प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. कभी वो अपने खुद को लेके, अपने परिवार को लेकर के अगर दिखाना चाहते आते हैं तो हम उनको कंसल्टेशन फी अगर हम देखें तो हमको उसको कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कर सकते हैं. जस्ट और इस सोच को रखते हुए कि कल कभी अगर वो आते हैं हम किसी ऐसे बैड सिचुएशन में, तो वो एटलीस्ट हमारे को सपोर्ट करें. ऐसी वैसी IPCs एटलीस्ट ना डालें जिससे, क्योंकि मैम एक बार एक IPC जो एक SHO या सब इंस्पेक्टर लेवल पे जो डाल देता है ना मैम, वो जाके कोर्ट के अलावा और कोई कैंसिल नहीं कर सकता. जो जिसने इनिशिएट कर दिया और उसी बात पे ही बात होती रहती है.
मैं आपकी बात में थोड़ा सहमत हूँ. डॉक्टर साहब आपने बताया जो इसका नाम है बीट कांस्टेबल से जरूर दोस्ती करनी चाहिए. मैंने अभी एक केस में फंसी हुई डॉक्टर साहब, एक BGP का लीडर मुझे परेशान कर रहा है. उसने धनबाद से फोन किया कि क्रिमिनल चीज लगाने के लिए. वो बीट कांस्टेबल मेरे पास आया कि डॉक्टर साहब इंस्पेक्टर साहब आपको मिलना चाहते हैं. आइए डॉक्टर साहब, इतनी बढ़िया तरह से, इतनी ग्रेसफुली सब करके वो DMC में केस भेज दिया. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज कि आपको कोई ना बहाना, चाहे दीपावली का हो चाहे कुछ है, ढूंढना चाहिए. और इस तरह से जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि जब उनकी कोई बीवी आ जाए, उनकी डॉटर इन लॉ आ जाए, तो बिना कंसल्टेशन करे और कह दो भैया ये सब इसलिए आपकी खातिरदारी हो रही है कि जब मेरे को जरूरत पड़े तो आपने आना.
यस मैम,
ये भी बताना बहुत जरूरी है सर कि खातिरदारी
भी बताना जरूरी है.
Ma'am, I would like to point out something over here that we at Noida with IMA, our Noida IMA is very, very strong, and the IMA body what helps us out with any of the center, whatever, let it be the bigger 50-bedded hospital or the corporate hospital or the smaller hospital, IMA stands with all of us at one call. And I would like to acknowledge and applaud that, because I feel proud to announce that we definitely are very close-knitted small family, which definitely works for all of us.
Let us hear it.
I would like to say something.
Yes.
Dr. Sunil Avana, ma'am.
Yes, the president of IMA Noida. Let us hear it from him.
Ma'am, in IMA Noida, we have got a crisis management team.
Yeah. Avana, sir, it's.
Sir, we are not able to hear you.
I think it is lost. The connection is lost.
अभी आवाज आ रहा है?
Yes, yes.
अभी आवाज आ रहा है मैम?
हाँ जी आ रहा है सर.
अच्छा, ma'am, we have got a crisis management team in IMA Noida, and the response time is just 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, we reach the site of offense, and we always try to help our honorable member and try to diffuse the situation. Ma'am, one or two things I'd like to mention after listening to such a very good discussion, that we should ensure that wherever we are practicing, the center is recognized and registered with the CMO or not. This is a very important thing, ma'am, because we should not leave any lacuna in our practice, because tomorrow CMO or somebody, police official, should not point a finger towards us कि आपने registration नहीं कराया अपनी center का, या आप एक unqualified लोग के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. वो थोड़ा सा हम लोग को ध्यान रखना है मैम. And yes, I request every one of our member to become an IMA member and see the difference, ma'am. At least in IMA Noida, we can say that none of the member is being harassed by the police or any of the administrative people. That is what I'm just saying.
मैं जैसे डॉक्टर सुनील और डॉक्टर राखी ने कहा, एक्चुअली इस तरह के इंसिडेंट्स की रिपरकशन होता है. हम लोग क्या गोरखपुर में भी हम लोगों ने रीजन वाइज, दो इट इज ए नॉट दैट बिग सिटी, लेकिन 10 मिनट में सारे लोग आ जाते हैं लोकेलिटी वाइज. लेकिन उसका फायदा क्या हो रहा है कि लोगों को पता चलती है कि ये 20 डॉक्टर इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, तो कोई न्यूसेंस करने की हिम्मत, हम देख रहे हैं कि धीरे धीरे इंसिडेंट्स कम होते चले जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव द पीपल हैव न्यूज कि यहाँ कुछ चलने वाला नहीं है, इन लोग के 40 डॉक्टर आ जाते हैं. सो दैट हैज गॉट द लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट ऑन.
Just one point. I'm Dr. Aradhna. I want to say, President Noida Gynae Society, that this is a very valid point. Even on that day when we wanted to meet the DCP, there was some confusion because some of the people were saying that don't create mob of doctors, just 4 people go. But myself and Dr. Vishal, we said we are not going to say no to anybody. Whosoever wants to come, we all are learned people, we are not going to create a mob. And when we 25 stood in front of the DCP sir, it made a difference. He listened to us and he was and I told him, sir, we want confidence from you. How we are going to give the incision to patient? With so much of pressure on us, we are not going, how we are going to operate? You tell us and you give us the confidence. And at the end of our meeting, he was actually very supportive and he said that there is there was no fear for Dr. Shuchi. She should practice. And at last I told him, sir, we are taking confidence from you. So this is very important to have
Madam, this I will say that just because there was 2 people especially, I want to mention Dr. Vishal, his smiling face, and Aradhna. How respectfully she was talking, so politely, and he was really impressed. And then he was talking very nicely.
Yeah, he was very supportive to the doctors. So that is what the fear thing should not be there in us with the police. And of course, ma'am, one thing I would like to, so many esteemed members, senior members are here. One thing I want to appeal, ma'am, that we should do something on mass level to sensitize the society, the lawmakers and the police, to be empathetic towards doctors. Whenever we go for a meeting or, some social gathering or simple gathering, people start abusing doctors like anything. They will be your friends, they will be your relatives, but they will start abusing about some incidents. The doctor do this, doctors are looters or doctors. So there should be, like jo ma'am हमने बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ किया है ना, something like doctor बचाओ society बचाओ we should do. That is my.
I think that's a lovely suggestion.
I will come to it a little later, but I will listen to Dr. Kumar Gandhi, who happens to be IMA East President as well as gynecologist. डॉक्टर साहब, आपने सुना और मैंने देखा कि मैं पिछले 30 साल से यहाँ प्रैक्टिस कर रही हूँ, हर बार IMA के लोग ही हमारी को बचाते हैं। आपका क्या ये रहेगा? जो मैंने बाउंसर्स की बात करी, मुझको एक बिहार में मेरी दोस्त है, उन्होंने कहा डॉक्टर साहब हमारे दिन आए दिन जो है नर्सिंग होम टूटते थे, हमने 3-4 रिटायर्ड आर्मी ऑफिसर्स को बाउंसर की तरह तैयार कर लिया, अब हमारे को कोई नहीं आता। तो डॉक्टर साहब आप ये क्या सोचते हो?
देखिए मैम, मैं हमेशा से कहता हूँ कि हेड काउंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन अ क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन।
हेड काउंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
जब ऐसी
डॉक्टर अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ।
Doing what we are following here is that we area wise we have 5 or 7 people जो आपके self help defense वाली जो policy है, we have made those small little groups of WhatsApp. इसके अंदर एक मैसेज भेज देते हैं and in about 5 to 10 minutes उस एरिया के लोग आ जाते हैं। Not that कि every time we get the same people और वो आगे दूसरे लोगों को कॉल कर देते हैं। So in about span of 15-20 minutes we have our own people of 20 to 30. दूसरा मैम जो आपने कहा बीट, apart from that very important people are the local area people. May that those little gunda type people also, they also will be helpful. आप उनको कभी भी आपकी क्लिनिक में आते हैं छोटी बड़ी हेल्प कर दीजिए। कभी किसी को कोई चीज की छूट चाहिए, किसी को डिस्काउंट चाहिए, give them and again mention it to them that we are doing this benefit or this favor to you, because in return if we have a difficulty please try and help us also in those difficult situations. और जनरली मैम ये लोग हेल्प करते हैं। सो आई बिलीव, आई ऑलवेज हैव टोल्ड पीपल, हैव यूनिटी अमंगस्ट अवरसेल्व्स। जब क्राइसिस आती है तो डोंट ट्राई टू फाइंड अ लैक्यून इन अदर पर्सन, उसकी कुछ और ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं है। हैव यूनिटी एंड हैव मैक्सिमम हेड काउंट। उस वक्त जो दिख रहा है आप उसको बुला लो, मे दैट बी अ डॉक्टर, मे दैट बी अ नॉन मेडिको। और मैम मैंने एक चीज, बीइंग गायनी, आई हैव सीन in a situation like this, अगर 2-3 फीमेल्स आगे होती, जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम डॉक्टर नीलू इज इन फ्रंट, अगर ये लोग आ जाते हैं the mob becomes little bit more careful in either abusing or either threatening, because they realize to threaten a woman or to abuse a woman is going to be more of a problem compared to doing it with us. So anytime we have a problem, I always take along डॉक्टर नीलू विथ मी एंड आई ऑलवेज रिक्वेस्ट पीपल कि आपके आसपास के जितने भी लोग हैं उसमें जो ऐसी विमेन है हु कैन अप्रोच द क्राउड, डोंट गेट स्केयर्ड ऑफ अ मॉब, दे आल्सो शुड बी देयर। सो आई बिलीव इन अ हेड काउंट। मेरा तो एक ही फंडा रहता है, हेड काउंट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, और लोकल बॉडी से भी आपको सपोर्ट रहना चाहिए।
Dr. Kumar Gandhi, I have one small question for you. You know what you mentioned about the women coming into the forefront. I
Yes,
had some of my colleagues who mentioned that the rivers, they say that if women are there, they are softer targets.
No, ma'am.
So,
no, ma'am. Not at all. Not at all, ma'am. Not at all.
Okay.
डॉक्टर अनुपा, आपका क्या एक्सपीरियंस है, आप बताइए। Actually, very successful people who gathers 400 people together.
थैंक यू मैम। अब तक जो मेन बात हो रही है, आई फर्मली बिलीव कि लोकल डॉक्टर्स के सपोर्ट बात की बात है। सबसे पहले जब लोकल डॉक्टर्स आपके सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के इकट्ठे होते हैं, दैट रियली मेक्स अ पॉइंट, दैट सेंड्स द मैसेज इनटू द सोसाइटी, दिस कैन नॉट गो ऑन, यू कैन नॉट अब्यूज डॉक्टर्स, इफ यू रियली नीड सम हेल्प, go to courts, file a case, that is secondary, that is the legal method of doing it. वहां पर 50 का मॉब अगर पेशेंट का होता है तो 100 लोग आपके होने बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज दैट इमीडिएटली डिफ्यूजेस द सिचुएशन। जैसा कि आई वुड नॉट नेम, एक जगह पे बहुत मॉब इकट्ठा हो गया था, देयर वाज न्यूबॉर्न का डेथ, स्टिलबॉर्न बेबी आफ्टर सिजेरियन। So the mob was actually, police was called, जैसे डॉक्टर गौरव ने कहा, police was called, 2 constables came, and in spite of 2 constables, these people, they started hitting doctors. So it was only the initial 5 minutes, and then approximately 50-60 doctors reached, and then the mob was diffused, and it was only when 50 doctors reached that police came into action. उससे पहले पुलिस साइड में खड़ी होके देख रही थी, I do not know बाद में हम कौन से किसको जाके बोल सकते हैं कि पुलिस के सामने डॉक्टर्स को पीट दिया गया. I do not know whom to approach in such a situation, but this actually happened. And after that, we all, like 50 odd people, we went to the DCP office, जैसे इस केस में हुआ था, and we demanded security. And trust me, उन्होंने एक नंबर दिया कि this person, this will come at call. आप कितने भी बजे कॉल करोगे, ये नर्सिंग होम का ओनर इज प्रोटेक्टेड बाय दिस पर्सन, एंड द पीसीआर वैन्स वर इंस्ट्रक्टेड कि आते जाते इस नर्सिंग होम पे आपको नजर रखनी है. नथिंग ऑड शुड हैपन. So that was, I do not know, कोई legality नहीं थी. That was the pressure of doctors which was there, and that was palpable. That is one thing. The other thing is social media part. Ma'am, एक और केस ऐसा हुआ था, बिकॉज जब कुछ होता है तो वीडियोस बना के फेसबुक पे डिफेम करना पहले शुरू हो जाता है, मीडिया ट्रायल हो जाता है, तो डॉक्टर इज हैंग्ड देयर एंड देन. उसके बाद आप बच भी जाते हो तो आप इतना डिफेम हो जाते हो कि अपनी प्रोफेशनल सर्विस और अपनी डिग्निटी को वापस लाने में महीनों लग जाते हैं. अगर फेसबुक पे कोई भी पोस्ट होती है तो हमारा ग्रुप ये इंश्योर करता है कि यू सिलेक्ट दैट पोस्ट एंड यू रिपोर्ट इट. After n numbers of reportings, that post is taken off Facebook. This is the rule of social media. तो जितनी जल्दी वो post off media जाती है, that is helpful to the doctors. Third thing, relatives हमेशा attendance spread करते हैं, doctors loot करते हैं, doctors ये करते हैं, doctor negligent करते हैं. हम लोग अपनी positive videos क्यों नहीं डाल के spread कर सकते? In this particular case, the affected doctor should put their side of the story and ask all the members to float this in media and their non-medical groups as well. So that message also goes. Abhi to kya message? If you look at this particular case, the message that comes across is कि डॉक्टर ने नेग्लिजेंस की और जो डॉक्टर था वो क्वालिफाइड भी नहीं था, although that was for the nursing home owner. But the general message that was conveyed to the public, ये मुझे पता है कि डॉक्टर सुची is well qualified, but जिस तरह से मीडिया उसको प्रेजेंट करता है, it is hardly the truth. And बाकी की जनता उस मीडिया को सुन रही है. They are just listening to media and taking judgments. So our part of story should also go out. If we really want respect for doctors in particular, तो हमको भी बताना है कि no, this is not true. This is not the case. So I firmly believe that yes, self-help groups are very important. Local influential people are very important. Your patient network is very important. The shopkeepers near your own clinic, have a repo with them. They'll come to your help immediately. Have a good repo, उन सबको free में देखो. And local beat constables, SHOs वगैरह, you have good terms with them.
Can I make a point here?
Please, sir.
So as far as किसको हेल्प कर सकते, किसके पास हेल्प के लिए जा सकते हैं, सो ऑब्वियसली डीसीपी ऑफ द एरिया जिसके पास जा सकते हैं, काउंसलर ऑफ द एरिया, एमएलए ऑफ द एरिया. ओके, दैट इज देयर. बट जहां तक की बात है कंप्लेंट की, सी मैंने बात करी फर्स्ट मूवर्स एडवांटेज की. मेनी टाइम्स इट डज हैपन कि पेशेंट ने कर दिया, जब तक हम नहीं कर पाए, हम बिजी हैं सिचुएशन को हैंडल करने में, ठीक है. बट कोई बात नहीं, अगर हमको ये पता लगता है कि पेशेंट ने कंप्लेंट कर दी है, रिलेटिव्स ने, इवन देन अगर हम बाद में करते हैं, इससे पहले कि पुलिस आए, पुलिस आने के बाद भी अगर हम कंप्लेंट करते हैं कि हमको थ्रेटन कर रहे हैं, हैरेस कर रहे हैं और यहाँ पर मॉब इकट्ठा कर लिया है, जान को हमारे नुकसान है, यहाँ पे तोड़फोड़ का भी नुकसान हो सकता है, तो भी पुलिस एक और टीम आएगी, दूसरी पीसीआर, और वो हमारे फेवर में काम करेगी. बट अगर हम कॉल नहीं करते हैं तो वो उन्हीं की तरफ से करते रहेंगे और हम डिफेंड करते रहेंगे. सो वी आर लूजिंग आउट ऑन ऑल दैट प्रीशियस टाइम. वो लोग कंप्लेंट करते जाएंगे, हैरेस करते जाएंगे, पुलिस का प्रेशर बनाते जाएंगे और हम सिर्फ डिफेंड करते जाएंगे. जब हमने कंप्लेंट कर देंगे तो हम कह सकते हैं कि भाई हमने कंप्लेंट किया तो हमारी कंप्लेंट पे क्यों नहीं एक्शन लेते हो आप उनके लिए. So this is another message that we have to take home, that we should make a call whenever we have the opportunity, despite having the first complaint made to the police by the relatives, patient's relatives.
Dr. Divya, you want to say something? Then I will tell you. Dr. Divya.
I just want to say one thing. We have to all learn a new mantra, and the new mantra is "Dharna mana hai." और डरना क्या कब नहीं है आपको, आप ओटी में खड़े हैं, यू आर फेस्ड विद अ डेथ ऑन ओटी टेबल, हाय मेरा अब क्या होगा, मेरे को क्या करना पड़ेगा, वी पैनिक। उस समय आपको पैनिक नहीं करना, सबसे पहले आपको 112 दबाना है और पुलिस को अपनी साइड करना। उसके बाद आपको अपने डॉक्टर्स हेल्प ग्रुप को फोन दबाना है, वही जैसे कॉमन जो फोन आपका जो रिंग करना है और सबको बुला लेना है। तो एक तरफ तो आपने अपने को प्रोटेक्ट कर लिया पुलिस से, एक तरफ से आपने अपने डॉक्टर्स से प्रोटेक्ट कर लिया। बिलीव मी दिस रियली हेल्प्स। मैम आई विल जस्ट गिव यू एग्जांपल्स ऑफ 2-3 सिचुएशंस। एक सिचुएशन में एक फिजिशियन को लोगों ने घेर रखा था चारों तरफ से। आई हैपेंड टू जस्ट रीच द हॉस्पिटल एट दैट टाइम। मैंने चुपचाप और वो मतलब उसको मार देते उसी समय। आई जस्ट टुक द फिजिशियन असाइड, उसको मैंने बोला कि आप एक तरफ हो जाओ। मैंने बहुत आराम से, शांति से, डिग्निटी से उस मॉब को हैंडल किया। दे डिड नॉट टच मी। उसके बाद पुलिस आई या जो भी, वो लोग शांत हो गए। एक और सिचुएशन, उसमें मॉब हमारे सामने खड़ा था, हम लोग उनके सामने, थोड़ी सी जो लेडी डॉक्टर्स थी उन्होंने बहुत जोर जोर से बोलना शुरू कर दिया उस मॉब के साथ, और एक तरीके से जब हाथापाई सी शुरू हो गई तो फिर उनको भी चोट लगी। तो हाउ वी हैंडल अ मॉब टिल द पुलिस अराइव, टिल आवर फ्रेंड्स अराइव, टिल द बाउंसर्स अराइव इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। उस समय हमें डरना नहीं है। हमारे को पब्लिक अवेयरनेस के हम कहते रहते हैं, हम कैंप्स करते हैं, तो हम पुलिस की लेडी ऑफिसर्स के लिए, पुलिस के ऑफिसर्स की वाइफ्स के लिए हम पब्लिक अवेयरनेस कैंप जरूर करें और उनको बुलाएं ताकि वो सब हमारे टच में रहे। डीसीपी इतने डिग्निफाइड ढंग से हमसे बात करते हैं जब हम लोग इकट्ठे जाते हैं उनके पास, और इस तरीके से ही हम अपने काउंसलर, एमएलए और डीसीपी एज राइटफुली सेड, इन लोगों से हमें दोस्ती करनी ही पड़ेगी। वो लोग रेडी हैं हम लोगों को हेल्प करने के लिए, हमें नहीं डरना है। थैंक यू सो मच।
जस्ट डॉक्टर दिव्या, जो आपने कहा ना वो बहुत, जो मैंने देखा है इस सिचुएशन में, जो हमारा फियर होता है और जो गिल्ट होती है कि वो कैसे हो गया, और वो चीज आपकी हिम्मत को पूरा तोड़ देता है। तो हम लोग एब्सेटिशन लाइफ और डेथ से रोज जूझ रहे हैं, ये चीज हमारे दिमाग में, मतलब वी शुड बी एवर रेडी। जैसे हम जानते हैं कि पीपीएच या इस इमरजेंसी में हमें ये करना है, तो सडन कुछ चीज होती है तो हमारे दिमाग में 1 2 3 4 हमको केस रिकॉर्ड करने हैं, हमको 112 नंबर दबाना है, हमको फोन दिखाना है, और इस चीज के लिए हमको ये नहीं कि अचानक सब चीज हमारे दिमाग से स्लिप हो जा रही है। तो वो फियर और गिल्ट एक्चुअली दैट क्रिपल्स अस, एंड वी हैव टू लाइक ना, हम लोग सब लोगों में वो हिम्मत लेना और लीड लेना बहुत जरूरी चीज होती है। इवन मॉब सेंस कि ये डर रही नहीं है, ये डर नहीं रही है, ये एक्सप्लेन कर रही है, चाहे उसको जेंटली करें अकॉर्डिंग टू सिचुएशन। सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एक्चुअली, दैट इनसाइट हियर डॉक्टर दिव्या, दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इट।
कि कोई भी जो नर्सिंग होम है जिसमें 50 डॉक्टर आते हैं, उसमें सिचुएशन बहुत आराम से हैंडल हो जाती है। जो वहां के 3-4 रेस्पेक्टेड डॉक्टर्स हैं वो सडनली आ जाते हैं, और फिर जब पब्लिक देखती है कि भाई ये लोग भी आए हुए हैं, ये भी लोग भी आए हैं, तो वो आराम से आपको बहुत प्यार से सुनते। सारे लोग उसमें, हमें पता हो जाता है कि ये ज्यादा बोलने वाला, उनको बिठा के और फिर आप उससे बात करते। डॉक्टर साहब, जब आप सिंगल हैंडेडली किसी क्लिनिक में होते हो और आपकी प्रॉब्लम होती है जहां पे 2-3 लोग हैं, उस टाइम हमारे को ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होती है। तो मैंने देखा है कि ये वाली सिचुएशन में हम लोगों को बनाना पड़ेगा अपना ग्रुप, कुछ पॉलिटिशियंस को, कुछ अपने पेशेंट्स को और अपने स्टाफ को भी कोट पहना के दिखाना पड़ेगा कि भैया ये डॉक्टर है। इस तरह से वही जो है, ये हेड नंबर काउंट्स, इसके वाले में बात में बड़े ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। और मैं सोचती हूँ कि डॉक्टर साहब, हमें को बाउंसर जैसी भी चीज को के बारे में सोचना चाहिए और हमारे को वो चीज हमारी हेल्प होनी चाहिए। मैं ऑफ से बता रही हूँ, आजकल ये ट्रेंड हो गया है दिल्ली के अंदर कि वो कहेंगे हम नेता हैं, आपसे बड़ी सर्जरी भी करा लेंगे और पैसे नहीं देना चाहेंगे, और वो फिर वो कुछ ऐसे करेंगे, हम रात को जाना चाहते हैं, हम ये जाना चाहते हैं, हर चीज करवा लेंगे। आपको लोकल पॉलिटिशियंस को जानना चाहिए। तो एक अभी बराबर के नर्सिंग होम में ये प्रॉब्लम हुई कि वो इस तरह से कहा था मैं बीजेपी का नेता हूँ। फिर मेरे जैसे लोग यहाँ पे बीजेपी के सचमुच नेताओं को जानते हैं, तो मैंने उनको बुलाया, फटाफट मैडम 5 मिनट में उन्होंने बिल भी पे कर दिया, सब कुछ कर दिया, और पता चला कि नोबडी। सो आई थिंक ये पॉलिटिशियंस को भी जानना बहुत जरूरी है।
मैम, वन थिंग दैट वी शुड स्टार्ट रिवोल्टिंग। कहीं पे भी पब्लिकली एक फैशन बन गया है डॉक्टर्स को कुछ भी बोलते रहना।
आराधना, जिस सर्कल में मैं जाती हूँ ना, वहां पर ऐसा नहीं है डॉक्टर साहब।
मैम मैं कल ही एक डिनर में गई हूँ जहाँ पे फ्रेंड्स और रिलेटिव्स की आपस में लड़ाई हो गई बिकॉज 2 were doctors, 2 were not. एंड उनमें आपस में हो गया कि यू पीपल जस्ट अब्यूज द डॉक्टर्स को कुछ भी बोलना फैशन बन गया. सो मैम इन टोटल सोसाइटी दे स्टार्ट अब्यूजिंग, दे स्टार्ट टेकिंग द केसेस. उस जगह ऐसा हो गया, वहां पे डॉक्टर ऑपरेट करके भाग गया. आई मीन मैम दे डोंट फील दैट योर फ्रेंड इज अ डॉक्टर, शी इज सिटिंग, ही इज सिटिंग, यू नो. एंड सो ये फैशन जो है ना मैम, इवन आप किसी नॉन मेडिको व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में रहोगे, दे विल सेंड द मैसेजेस एंटी डॉक्टर्स वाले. They will forget that you are their friends. So these things are happening, ma'am. मैम एक किसी ने छोटी सी बच्ची, मेरी डॉटर went somewhere, बोला कि वहां पे फरीदाबाद में बहुत अच्छा हॉस्पिटल खुल रहा है. My daughter just joined medical. बहुत अच्छा हॉस्पिटल खुल रहा है. तो उसकी जो फ्रेंड के फादर, he is saying कि हाँ देखना अब कितनी किडनीज निकलेंगी. मैम this is, I mean she was so sad listening to this कि मम्मा ये क्या हो रहा है. So people are very insensitive towards us, ma'am.
I think time has come to wind up the discussion. I think, the inputs have been absolutely great and all of us have to really take care कि हमें अपने ऑनर को बचाना है. हमारी भी जो करने का तरीका है वो इस तरह से होना चाहिए कि डॉक्टर फ्रेंडली हो और हम किसी डॉक्टर के बारे में बात ना करें. हम अपने लोकल IMA के लोगों से, उनकी ऑफिस बेरर से दोस्ती करनी पड़ेगी, लोकल गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट फोरम के लोगों से दोस्ती करनी पड़ेगी. उसकी 1-to-1 आपकी रिलेशनशिप होनी चाहिए कि जब नीड हो. और आज मैंने डॉक्टर राखी से सीखा कि भाई आप ग्रुप की बटन दबा दो तो सारे को फोन हो जाएगा. ये तो मैंने आज ही देखा. आई थिंक इट इज सच ए इजी वे. यू डोंट हैव टू डायल ईच एंड एवरी नंबर, इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली रीच. And I think, so much to learn from Dr. Anupma and Gupta. And I think we need to be grouped together. I will ask Dr. Raj Bakaria to say a few words in case if she wishes to do that.
Ma'am, just one small thing, ma'am, just before Dr. Raj says, ma'am, one thing is very, what I like to point out is, we should stop talking any ill about our fellow colleagues. Yes. I think that is the one thing which we can all start immediately if we are not already doing so.
डॉक्टर मैं यहाँ पर बताना चाहती हूँ, आई हैव सीन द एक्सपीरियंस कि आपका कोई केस आपके अगेंस्ट हो जाए, पहले वो एक ग्रुप में आएगा, फिर वो दूसरे ग्रुप में डिस्कशन हो जाएगी, फिर वो तीसरे ग्रुप में डिस्कशन हो जाएगी. आपकी बार एक सूची का जो केस आया सबसे पहले साउथ दिल्ली के ग्रुप में आया. तो जिस लेडी ने लिखा, मैंने उसको सुबह मॉर्निंग में पॉइंट आउट किया, आप इस ग्रुप टीम के इस हिस्से हो, ये कहाँ से इंफॉर्मेशन आपको आई है. तो उस लड़की ने फटाफट विड्रॉ कर लिया और मुझे मेरी पर्सनल व्हाट्सएप पे अपॉलॉजी की. तो ये वाला सूची का केस सारे उस पर नहीं पहुंचा. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से दैट कि डॉक्टर साहब वी हैव टू बिकम प्रोएक्टिव कि हमारे ये इस व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप की जो है ये वहां पर उस पेशेंट की जैसे मीडिया की पिटाई होती है ना, वैसे यहाँ पर होने लगती है. Instead of helping that particular person, we are anti our own fraternity. So this is what I see. I think we have to stop it.
We have to stop it, ma'am, immediately. Dr.
Raj, I will say that, the case in Noida has been very well handled. We are very proud of you, Dr. Vishal and Dr.
Anupma.
Dr. Rakhi and other people who had gone there. I think we are really proud, and a similar kind of situations, if we have it again, we should definitely see that, everybody comes together. Hats off to all of you, and I think, that kind of momentum should be continued.
Sir, my special thanks to each and everyone who had joined today. And special thanks I owe to you, ma'am, for giving such a wonderful, informative, and so many practical messages how to build up our own reputation. We should not fear. So many take-home messages. So my sincere thanks to you, ma'am, and to all the dignitaries and all the experts who has given their valuable comments and tips how to protect ourselves. Our safety is the first. And I want to thank the conference people, Mr. Abhinju Chaudhary, for giving us this platform. And also a big thank you to Malti, who is always there. My job of thank will be incomplete if I don't thank her, ma'am. Once again, thanks to each and everyone. And I think we should work more and more of such webinars should be done. We should prepare to protect ourselves. Our safety points, whatever the legal point, don't panic, be strong, don't fear. and know the landmarks, judgment in our clinic, in our premises. These all are very important practical tips, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, once again to you.
Thank you.
And to everyone, including Sadhna ji and Dr. Archana and Dr. Rakhi, Dr. Anupma, everyone, Dr. Gaurav. Maybe I'm forgetting few of them, but once again.
I think by handling Dr. Vishal, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Aradhan, you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
And special thanks goes to MCure people.
Dydrofem, faith delivered. Dydrofem is bioequivalent to Innovator at 25% lower cost. It is made using complex photon bombardment and purification process. Dydrofem's structure is exactly like the reference dydrogesterone structure. This brand is brought to you by Dr. Mukund Gurjar, rated as one of the top 75 scientists in India by CSIR. Dydrofem is brought to you by NCure, India's #1 company in women's health, most trusted by gynecologists. It is for patients with recurrent pregnancy loss, history of miscarriage, and defective luteal phase. It has better potency, bioavailability, and tolerability than progesterone. Dydrofem, MCure's dydrogesterone, proud to be made in India.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, we are offline now.
Sir, pata karega how many people had joined